meeting to order. Roll call.
Travis here.
Christine.
Matt.
Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Norman. Can you put the AC, please? Thanks. All right, any conflicts of interest to declare at this time? None. Okay, the approval of August 3rd, 2026 agenda, I just need to correct some words on here. Down below, the park is an advisory board, not a committee, so I just want to change those words before we approve the agenda.
Settle.
That is it.
I move to approve the agenda with the noted change.
I'll second to approve the agenda with the noted change. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda with the noted change?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The approval of the July 6, 2026 meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. All right, committee reports. Finance officer.
Alright, disbursements for July, we're looking at a total of $15,125.43. Couple of notable things is we had another bill from Helms and Associates, who are the engineers for the water project. That's reimbursed, that's just short of $4,900. And then we had, what was the other one there? Oh, we had another principal payment for $2,387.13 to U.S. Bank Trust. And then we also purchased what was approved last meeting for Todd for cones and road signs and such, which was just a couple dollars short of $1,000 for the signs and cones and flags and such.
So Matt, we've had some questions about the finances, so can I ask you to read those by check number and
Yep.
then the vendor, you don't have to read what they're for and the
Okay.
amount.
Yep, I'll read through them quick here, and then if there's any other questions, you can come up and take a once the meeting's over. So check number 10901 to U.S. Bank Trust for $2,387.13. A debit card purchase to Uline online for cones and road signs for $997.69. Check number 10900 to Fall River Water Users District for $308.63. Check number 10899 to Cheyenne Sanitation for $1,662.50. An ACH payment to Golden West Telecom for $104.98. Check number 10898 to Hawkins Inc. for water testing for $307.76. Check number 10897 to South Dakota 811 for their 811 services for $8.40. Check number 10896 to SHP Holdings LLC, that is also known as Custer Chronicle, for $366.35. Check number 10895 to Helms and Associates for $4,878.50. Check number 10894 to SDARWS for membership dues, annual dues for $385. Check number 10893 to Ace Hardware for some building keys for $24.95. ACH payment to SDEPAT, which is our Department of Revenue to the state for sanitation sales tax, is $85.93. Debit card purchase to Baumgars for hydraulic oil for $95.55. Check number 10890 to Steve White, salary and OASI and Medicare for $63.26 and $5.24. Check number 10892 to Tammy White for salary, OASI, Medicare for $391.56 and $32.44. Check number 10891 to Todd Heck, salary and OASI, Medicare for $410.03 and $33.97, as well as mileage for $85.15. Check number 10889 for Matthew Tramp, salary, OASI, and Medicare for $10.98 and 97 cents and $91.03. Check number 10888 for Christine Wells, salary as well as board salary, OASI, Medicare for $92.36, $764, $462, and $55.41. Check number 10887 to Steve Jensen, board salary and OASI Medicare for $55.41 and $459. Check number 10886 to Travis Lassiter, board salary and OASI Medicare, $55.41 and $459. And an ACH payment to Black Hills Energy for electricity, $428.13, $407.68, $184.60, as it's broken down into all its different areas there, for a grand total of $15,125.43.
And the chair entertains a motion to approve the monthly expenses.
I move to approve.
Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries.
I don't have any mail call complaints, anything of that sort, to address on that end of things for me. Then we need to set a planning meeting for the budget appropriations. Travis, we were talking about setting a date that would work for us and then getting a hold of Steve when he gets back and making sure it works for him. If it doesn't, we can fix it, so.
What day are we thinking?
Well, Matt's in the office on Wednesday mornings, if that's ever possible for you.
And I can come in on a different day if that
Yeah,
is
if not, that doesn't
needed
work.
as well.
I just have 3 days that I'm out of town this month, the 18th through the 20th of August. Other than that, I can probably make it work any day.
So the preference is a Wednesday morning?
Could be, that's a preference.
Do you guys know when Steve gets back?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know an exact date.
Well, if we want to do it, can we do it the morning of, the 26th? Because that's a Wednesday, I'm already taking that whole day off of work.
That would work.
Yeah.
And we're
I'm
having
sure
a meeting
Steve
at
will
2
do
o'clock. What time we have the meeting afternoon?
It's at 2, I believe the. 5:30.
Okay, so then, yeah, if we do that one in the morning for the budget,
26th.
because I'm taking that off from work, that way I can, yeah, that'd be great.
August 26th. Let's see, 9 a.m.
Sounds good to me.
Probably take us a little over an hour or so, and that'll bring Steve up to, caught up with the budget and the process with that for the first meeting in September, so he should be back by the 26th.
Yeah, he's back.
Because that's, we set that date together, so. Right. And then I'll make a notice for that in minutes that we will be together without a decision. Perfect. water and sanitation.
Water's going good so far. This project's moving along. It's starting to pick up a little momentum. This next week, we'll be going from 3rd to 2nd Street. And they should have all the tie-ins, once they get the residuals back, should have all the tie-ins done between 3rd and 4th. And we located 4 lead service lines, and I've notified the customers about them. So they're aware that we had a lead service line connection, and they are disconnected now. I made notes about it in my ledger thing. So if they ever ask, we have notification about it, and Helms has also made notifications of it.
You have the addresses for that too?
Yes, yep. I'm writing on the sheet I got back from you, or whatever, it has all the addresses and everything. I'm writing on it where it said lead or no lead. I'm writing down that, yes, we verified it was a lead connection there. And a lot of them come out as a lead connection and went to pulp. And then some of them went lead to something, whatever, metal. And then a couple were copper.
Okay.
So, good. And then, want to see, I got a quote for a metal detector. It's $9.55 at Corn, Maine. That everything I've looked up online has been about $1,200 or $1,300 for a metal detector. And Dave, I talked to him from Black River. He told me that's the best one for what we're doing.
Okay.
It's for that price. And he said that's what he'll be getting himself when he buys the next one.
So would you have to purchase that online, or you can go to Rapid and get that?
I can go to Rapid and pick it up, but I'm just get the car when I'm going to go do that. And this next month I have a bunch of testing. I've got my 5-year sample tests, which are, and I got to do my lead and copper samples, and then I've got the whole, like 34 vial bottle thing, sample testing I got to do. It's the 5-year sample testing that needs to be done. So when I go to, next time I drop my sample off this month from a water sample, I'll pick all the bottles up, because it has to be done between July and September for their samples.
Let's see, what else you got?
And
That's it.
That's it for right now, yeah.
So.
Been a busy month with them, so.
I see that, yeah. All right, so with regards to the metal detector, Todd needs that to find the valves. So the chair entertains a motion to approve to purchase that metal detector from Warren Lane at 900. You said 935?
$9.55.
955.
That's before tax, that's what Dave checked on it and stuff. I don't know if it went through him, through Black River, or if he just used, or they, because they know him, there's a discount or not. So I don't know if I'll go through Dave to do it, or what I'll do to get that price on it.
All right, well, I'll second the motion to purchase the metal detector.
Question. Whose metal detector have you been using so far?
We've been guessing.
Helms and Associates.
There you go. Okay, so when they're not around, then
Yeah.
obviously, okay. Just want to make sure. We're good.
And I have now the valve on Main Street. There's been that cone out there. I have got risers put into that now, to where that valve is now 2 inches below road surface for grading purposes versus
Point to me
8
which
inches.
one?
Main and Third,
Right.
right by the county shop.
All right.
That's where that cone was in the road. We had to dig that valve up because they were temporarily gonna have to shut that water off temporarily. But we ended up, we didn't have to because they already had that valve down by Walnut Street. They already had it back flanged and back pressure so it couldn't blow off when they disconnected and hooked the new key on. So we didn't end up not having to shut that water off for those 2 services. But we had it dug up ready to shut off if need be. But now I've got risers in there, so now it's just 2 inches below the surface versus 9 inches below the surface.
All right, all in favor to purchase the metal detector, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, and you're still not required for any training or anything yet?
Nope. I've got another 2 years before I do any of that.
Roads, streets, grounds, and mowing.
Well, it's been really hot. Start mowing this morning again.
Okay.
Oh, that's, we were gonna get a air cleaner for that, we'll get a car quit. Jay cannot get one in, had to be Friday at the end. So he stopped Friday to get it, but it wasn't then. I stopped about a week after that and took him the numbers and everything right there with him. He looked it up on the computer. The only one they can get is like 2 inches shorter than the one we need, so you gotta get that at Powerhouse.
Okay, so you need to take a trip to Rapid to get that?
Yeah, one of these times.
Well, we'll try to get there one of these days, if it's not an emergency.
Okay,
And then the loader, Matt picked up 6 gallons of that, transmission fluid for me, hydraulic fluid. I'm gonna have to drain the tranny on the loader because it's probably half the water in there. I have no idea how the water got in there. It's probably in there when we got this thing. But it's gonna take almost 4 gallons of that we picked up to fill that transmission back up. So we may need another
Do you need me to pick more up
can
then?
of that. I don't have it right now because I haven't changed anything yet.
Okay.
But what I had you get was meant to go into the hydraulics and the blade
Yep.
and the loader itself.
Just let me know once you use it up, if you need more, I'll put some more right now.
Okay. Other than that, haven't had the blade out or the loader for a month, you know.
okay. Have you gotten any more diesel from the fire department since last time we
No.
spoke? Okay.
I just stopped that one time right after Randy said it was okay and haven't run it since then, so, that's all good to go.
Okay. Alright. Building maintenance. Tony,
Nothing
go.
on maintenance.
Alright, animal control.
July 14th, about 10 minutes to 10, I was out complained about a dog at large in somebody's yard. Didn't find out whose dog it was. They didn't get a picture of it, and I didn't. I'm just waiting to see if it shows up in the yard again. I suspected one dog that might have been loose, but it wasn't that dog. It was another one. So we don't know who it was. July 16th, there was a dog at large, couldn't find him. July 28th, that's when I saw an owner that I thought it was, and there wasn't their dog. August 2nd, oh boy, I had like 4 complaints in one day. Same dog, at large. I did know whose dog it was at the best time, and I spoke with the owner on the phone, and she didn't have a way to go look for the dog, so I went down and picked her up and we drove around town for 45 minutes looking for the dog. We couldn't find him. They eventually found him later that evening. Now, I followed up with them this morning, and I have been assured that they've got the materials to build a nice kennel in their backyard, keep the dogs contained. I gave them some suggestions as to how they can work their kennel out so that the animals have some protection from elements and from the sun, keep water in there. And I also, when we were driving with him, I did explain to the dog owner about some of the legal ramifications that can come up with the dog at large, repeatedly at large, and they don't want those legal ramifications. And I don't want to pursue those.
Okay.
So that's what I need to report.
May I add something to it? You mentioned to me that someone here had steel foot traps in town
Yeah, they do.
in the city limits.
They do. They've got problems with raccoons.
Is that, it's not legal to have it in town?
We've been through this before, Chris.
What's that?
The
We went
chair,
through this
the
before,
chair
Chris.
doesn't recognize the speaker at this time. So Maggie, you have 1, 2, 3. So overall you had 7 calls in the last month.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. And I'll turn in hours to this week, because I've gotten up to merit a paycheck. You're not gonna give me a paycheck for 50 cents.
Just by the 20th.
By the 20th, I will do that. Who do I give it
And
to?
if you need a time
Just
card.
put it in the box or you give it to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Community Center Committee, I did receive meeting minutes from the last meeting. So, Candy are you reporting on the community center?
I can.
Okay, your turn, you're up.
Well, I'll stand up so you can.
Okay,
We had our first kind of official community center meeting on July 27th on Monday. The committee members that were present were Ray and Andy Husky, Mary Malloy, Kay Streeter, and Debbie Selby. We discussed whether we wanted to wish to remain as a committee or to be an advisory board. We decided to be a committee, so we will report to the town board. Our official meeting dates will be on the final Monday of the month. Our breakfasts are on the second Saturday of each month, from 8 to 10 a.m. And the next breakfast is on August 8th. The menu will be sirloin steak tips, potatoes, maybe potatoes, we haven't decided yet. Eggs, bacon butter biscuits, cinnamon rolls, juice, and coffee. Okay, and then we had discussions on future projects for the community center. One of them was a new efficient energy furnace, and with the air conditioning, they decided they wanted air conditioning. And we need to get 3 bids on that, which we're working on that. There's 2 windows on the north side of the building upstairs, wooden windows that are up there and they will not fit, so we'll have to get 2 new windows like Capella, like we got all the other ones. Repairs are needed on the upstairs balcony ceiling and floor due to water damage before the new roof was put on. New siding, maybe possibly, we talked about new siding or painting the outside exterior of the building. Movable folding wall for buffalo gaps, historical photographs and articles to get the picture frame from off the floor. And I have somebody that I've talked to about doing that, about get dimensions and things like that. So all the projects are subject to review and future decisions by the community center board and the town council. Some final notes before ending the meeting was given to promoting and marketing and revitalizing Buffalo Gap. So it could be dances, things like that. This would not be the breakfast committee, this would probably be a different committee to help with that. And it's just some of the ideas we're gonna be discussing in the future. We adjourned our meeting at 7:25. The next monthly meeting is August 31st, the last Monday of the month. And, Buffalo Gap Community Center. Any questions?
Thank you.
thanks, Kenny.
Okay.
All right, the park, so can we, your part of the park, we've changed to an advisory board. So on the agenda, you'll see it as a park advisory board now. So, do you have any updates?
Nope, it's been too hot.
No.
So, yeah. So we're gonna strip and paint, and we'll paint the one, let's say it'd be the west side picnic shelter. Steve said that there is some gravel available, so we'll use that first and then see what we need to purchase to ramp up the concrete. We're still working on removing those not cinder blocks, those wood blocks around the playground. But, probably, we're hoping in a month or so, then we can start working on that gravel, getting that wider pulled up, so.
Under basketball.
I did, thank you.
All right.
Christine, can I add something?
Yes, Kenny.
Last month, we've gotten 5 picnic tables from the Ballard family and a $1,000 donation. Wow.
All right, Board of Trustees. Travis, do you have anything?
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry, what I want to talk about is going to be during the budget piece of this conversation, so.
The only thing I have is that right now Custer County has
Where's it gonna fall? Is that gonna be in the budget for the chipping, We didn't talk about it here.
Should be in all business.
I just wanna make sure that
Yeah, we're here.
we're getting close.
All right, we're getting close, that's right. Okay, public time. This is time for citizens to address the Board of Trustees. The amount of time for discussion or presentation will be 3 minutes or at the discretion of the president of the board. Individuals shall refrain from discussing personalities. You must come to the front to address the board. No action will be taken by the Board of Trustees without first being placed on a future agenda. Anybody have any comments?
I just have
John.
a question. The August 26th meeting,
Yes.
what time is that? That's about vacating the streets and such, is that right?
It's not about vacating the streets, it's to address the encroachments on the right-of-ways identified in the survey dated November 19, 2025. And that is at August 27th at 5:30 PM.
27th or 6th?
26th at 5:30 PM.
At what time?
5:30.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christian,
Yes.
I forgot something in my report. I would like to remind everybody here, and if you can remind your neighbors, please, dog registration is still open to the 31st of August. Again, it's no charge, no fees, but I do need shop records. There's a form that you need to fill out, and a photograph of the dog would be really helpful. And that ends on the 31st of August. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, I did find pictures for everything that was up on top. And I do know that a lot of that was there last year, because we were there and looked at it last year. So there's nothing left except these 2 pictures going upstairs. Now, I did hear Kay got some stuff and she's putting it on a flash drive, but there's nothing else left up there. All the history is gone.
So when I went up there, I was in the office when Kate went over and she inventoried the upstairs, and she said everything that she is accounting for is up there. She said some things have been put away that I don't know what that meant, but Matt and I were there when she came on and said she could find whatever she was looking for, and she did ask me if I would make that part of the meeting minutes, and I failed to do that before time, but she asked me to make sure that was noted.
And isn't that there for the public?
I don't,
The district?
I don't know, I've never been up there other than to shut that
Oh,
window.
we go up there all the time. That stuff.
Yeah,
I've never been up there, it's got that chain across it that's closed. As far as, I mean, I've only been in town.
You had it on the table one time, I
The
went.
chair doesn't recognize the speaker at this time.
You had it on the table.
The chair doesn't recognize the speaker at this time. Cheryl, go ahead.
Well, like I said, that's a lot of stuff, so if they've got it in the drawers or something,
I don't
it's
know.
gotta be packed.
But she said, she did say that she accounted for it. Whatever, she had a list and she had
I will.
check marks. So, yeah, she asked me if I would put it in here that she accounted for everything, so. I'm not familiar with what's
Because
there.
that is, I mean, our kids from, I've seen them, they love to look at that stuff, they love the history of that.
And Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I agree with you, I love history, that's one of the things I do, I like history. I didn't know that there was historical stuff up there, but if you're aware that it was there at
Oh,
a
yeah,
certain.
I've got all the pictures of it.
All I'm saying is if you're aware that it was there at a certain time, Kay doesn't have answers for you, then we probably need to, call the police and do a report. And I agree with you on that, somebody may have had access to the building that shouldn't have had access to the building, keys weren't turned in, whatever the case may be. So I agree, we should have it investigated.
Is it possible that that could have belonged to somebody when they, because you remember there was a handoff from when it was a 501(c)(3).
That's what I would like to talk to Kay about.
Yeah.
Because I do know some of it was personal,
Okay,
but a lot of it wasn't. A lot of it they donated to them.
yeah, I'm not sure. Terry?
But when we got the building back, Lance Russell was there taking an inventory with him. These pictures are all from what was left up there.
Okay.
He called people that had donated things, and wanted to know if they wanted it back, or if they stayed. I don't think anyone took anything of that. But we got a picture of Lance Russell that was with
Okay.
Terry Baptist.
Yeah, check with Kay and see.
Yep.
steel foot traps are not legal in the city.
Madam Chair, let me ask a question. What ordinance is that?
State South Dakota, it's a,
What state statute is that?
you can look it up, it'll tell you they're not legal because it's a danger to children and pets.
Okay, again, what state statute is that? Because there's not an SDCL. And I'm only asking the question because when you have chickens and ducks, we are allowed to protect them, and we do. And I have video evidence of the critters that crawl into their home, and I have the traps that are there. The traps catch them on the inside, so anything going on the inside, and we have caught animals other than skunks and raccoons.
So they're based on, they're on the inside of the structure.
All my live traps are outside the structure, but I can show you where things crawl into them.
Actually, years ago, I was recommended to the board, even though the first year we were the farm control officers here in town. And I worked with the game and fish, they called me up and we had to go shoot deer here in town. We dealt with the mountain lion, things like that. And you could catch things with the live trap, and they would not give us steel traps to go set ourselves.
Because they won't give those out. That's something that they won't, because then they're liable.
I was informed from somebody that they said they had been given to a person from them, and that that person was considered eggs, it was okay, things like that. My thing is, someone's gonna end up with a three-legged cat, a pet cat, I know it's not so much a dog or something like that. I just think it's a little safer way to do it. You know, I just think the steel trap's gonna be, one day, it's gonna be not if and when it happens, but it's probably gonna be, you're gonna have a neighbor's cat. And,
Well, you know what, but I get to protect my animals.
you know what I mean?
They've been killed.
Well, I know, but I've had an owl sit down and get my chicken with my front porch, but I'm not allowed to shoot it.
That's because it's a bird of prey, it's a different category than a skunk or a raccoon. It really is. You gotta be very familiar. If you're farming control, you do have to be familiar with it.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
also
also
got a herd, you gotta have a bear's license.
not on your own property. It does say in state statute that if it's your own property, you can do it. So just, again, I'm all about transparency and what the law says, and you can't make false statements. That's the problem with some things that are going on. I've got two GFP traps that are live traps outside of my critter homes. Yes, I do. I have kill traps on the inside. Dogs in the past, not necessarily here, but at our other place, have gotten into our chicken coop and have been caught in those traps. Okay? Again, by sheriff's definition, sheriff said you can do that if they're killing your critters. So, again, I'm not trying to kill anybody, so anytime I see somebody's animal out and about, the reason why I let Margaret know is because I want that animal's protection, 100%, and that's the only reason why I'm doing it. I hope Margaret will tell you, I'm not trying to put you under pressure, but every single time, none of it's because I want to get anybody in trouble, I want to protect their animal, is what I always start out with.
And I understand and appreciate that.
That's
She was explaining to me that the game and fish gave the traps to you, it said.
The two live traps, yes.
That was my understanding. You received traps from us.
I have
We talked about the steel traps.
Okay.
And then the other thing he told me was okay for him because he was considered egg.
On his own property, and it's agricultural. He has the right to protect his livestock. And if his livestock is being killed, he can trap.
That's,
He can shoot.
Can it be a
He can shoot.
trap where they just go in and then they're caught, not a snare?
There's all kinds of traps.
Is it a trap or
Well, they do
are
both.
there traps on the public easement?
Nope, they're all on my private property.
Giant.
Is there not a way to enforce your fencing or whatever you have to keep those animals from getting in there?
Oh, you can do all kinds of things, but raccoons and skunks are pretty difficult.
Oh, yeah.
She's talking about dogs and cats.
Twice the dogs and the cats.
I agree, I don't think the dog and cat can get where it's at. However, I always want to be cautious and let people know that this is what I have, so that they can be caretakers of their animal and keep them in, just like we keep our dogs in our fenced area. And whenever they get out, I turn myself in. Margaret knows if my dogs get out, I turn myself in. Hey, we're getting our dogs and wheel her out, because I see them on the cameras that got out. So we have animals that can get trapped if they decided to dig into our chicken coop. And I know I don't want my critters to get snagged by that, so I do everything I can to protect other people. However, animals are animals. If they get in there, I wanna make sure that they are protected so that they don't get. That's all the purpose of that is.
So you trap them and kill them?
We use the trap takes care of that for the skunk. I don't think the traps will kill a dog. I think the traps will kill a skunk and a raccoon, but they will harm a dog.
Okay, any other comments? Public comments, Terry?
Mr. Lasser has said before he's got egg status. Do you have egg status over there?
Yep, legally, by state law, when you produce X amount of dollars, it does not matter, through an ag business, it doesn't matter if you're in town. It's the qualification of the land. The land is qualified as ag. Yes.
I was at the office of equalization, and your status was rejected because you haven't been there 3 years, so you're lying to us.
The application is in, and whenever I turn in my
It's
final,
been rejected.
okay, there's a process for it. It's because I don't have my final taxes for them. It's rejected until my final taxes come into them, and then they have to reconsider it. But thank you, Terry, for that reminder, and I'll make sure my taxes get in now that they're complete.
Okay. Any other comments? All right.
I wanted to say
Tammy.
something about stolen property. I have some pictures here of some stolen property from the shop that's on somebody's property. But I'm afraid of retaliation.
Okay.
So do you suggest calling the police or jail?
Is it town property? It
Yes, it
needs to be
is.
presented to the board. So if it's town property that's been stolen, then it needs to be presented to the board. And
Or
that will.
isn't that what she's talking about though?
We didn't see those.
If we're talking about, you're talking about town property, you're claiming town property. I don't know what Cheryl has as town property. I know what Kay says is supposed to be there. So if you have something for town property, then that needs to be presented to the board. So when you're ready to present that,
Okay, I'll do that.
you can present that. Do you have any questions for Tammy?
No, I don't have any questions for you. I thought about making a public statement as a citizen of the town, but I'll wait until somebody else wants to go.
Cheryl,
We didn't receive our water bills. Steve went in to pay it. You weren't there, you couldn't tell him what the amount was, because you got everything.
I didn't have anything.
No, I never said that.
Why couldn't you tell me?
Tell us how much the water bill is.
So Matt can tell you, it just so happened I was not on the office because I've been out and I did not tell him, you know, where that's at. So we can fix that and I can make sure that Matt knows how to get your balances. I've had a lot of people this month that said they didn't get their water bills and were at the mercy of the post office. I mailed them, they got mailed on July 13th.
Don't matter, I should have walked in, he should have told me what the water bill
Okay, I understand.
was, right?
You were
But the
pretty
office is there.
amiable
Listen.
with me.
But
What's that?
You were pretty amiable with me. We were able to work through it.
Why couldn't you just tell me what it was?
Because I couldn't, like I said. I think that's been made clear.
It's okay.
I made that clear to you
It's okay.
that day, right?
It
Okay.
just, I just didn't think that's the way it should be in this city.
I got it.
There's so much control.
Christine,
Yeah.
was the bill just not, is that like?
No, all the bills were mailed on July 13th, and they're not the only customer. I've had, that's probably the 10th customer I've had. And again, this happens every month, yes. In fact, I got 2 water bills in my mailbox. And then last month, I got 4 water bills returned to sender that get mailed out all the time, so.
Can we complain to the post office?
Sure can.
Yeah, you can.
You add to all the ones that I do.
So, okay, any other comments?
Anyway, I gave him $100, so if it's not enough, don't charge me for
Okay,
a late fee.
all right, old business. Water construction phase 2, Todd already gave us an update on that. I did have one thing to say about the phase 2 water construction, and I'll put this in the meeting minutes, but if customers live between 2nd and 3rd Streets for this next iteration, they'll have to take their trash can either to 2nd Street or to 3rd Street, to be picked up. If help with that due to disability or some other
Please
circumstance,
let me know.
please contact me or Todd.
I will
We'll
make-
make sure the can gets there.
I'll make sure the cans get put out.
If you, for some reason, the trash doesn't get picked up, or you can't get it there, you need overflow, you're welcome to use trash cans at the old fire hall until the construction is done.
Speaking of the trash cans at the fire hall, I did go pick up 5 more cans,
Oh, great.
and I got 2 sets of wheels, so the 2 cans are outside. They're in good shape, broken wheels.
Oh.
So I got new wheel sets for that, and I got 5 more cans now, and we're getting very low on cans, we only have 1 left.
All right, thank you.
What happened to the can for here?
There wasn't a can available, and I gave it to a customer. We'll put one back. All right, yard waste site. So, yard waste site is open. It'll stay open until it's full. We do have Travis H. speak on this. We do have 2 solutions, because burning is not an option, so.
Burning's not an option. I actually reached out to 4 different companies. 2 have not returned back to me. 2 have. And so what we have currently is we have 2 proposals to chip and leave in place, or chip and remove. So chip and leave in place, grinding the slash pile of buffalo gut and leaving it in a mulch pile for $8,000. This is from Baker Timber Products. Or they can grind it and haul it away for $11,600. Trim it up, can grind it and leave it in place only for $8,496. So those are the 2 bids that we have to take care of the problem with the current brush pile with not being able to burn.
All right, I'll entertain comments from the floor. Diane?
What about the mess with the old postcards?
That is, yeah, I can't speak to that at this time. Any other comments?
So the burning, there's gonna be no burning? It won't
No,
burn?
we're under a burn ban. There's
I
no
mean, don't,
burning.
the pile won't wait there till burn time maybe, or it's got to be moved forward?
Good, but it's growing by the day. Cheryl?
That's what I was just gonna say, can we just maybe wait and see this winter if we get enough snow to?
Could, but it just it feels like it's growing by the day, and if we don't get out of this drought anytime soon or get enough snow, I'm kind of stuck with a big burn pile.
Then we can look at the burn.
I mean, I'm just saying, I did the research because there was some questions. There were some questions about what can we do, and there was a recommendation before the last board meeting. No one brought any resolution, so I went forward to bring some resolution that these are our options if we have to get down to it. When we do it, that's up to the board. Do we determine that it's urgent to do it now, or do we say we can let it sit and wait until this winter? I will still say, I personally, well, it doesn't impact me, I don't have a problem with this, but there are citizens near that burn pile that have complained to us about if that burns, it potentially catching their property on fire. And I'm not one of the ones, I know there's been an allegation that I have one, but to me, the wind typically doesn't blow towards my house, so it's not an issue for me. It's a safety issue from a fire standpoint.
And I would work with the Buffalo Gap Fire Department before we burn it anyway, so I'd get their approval before we burn it. The other thing is prices don't get cheaper with time.
They don't.
They don't, but maybe the fire department is still control burn.
They're not gonna do
Not
one
right
anytime
now.
soon.
Do that. It's too
So-
dangerous.
And we've
At
been
this
burning it
point,
for years.
we weren't
I mean,
able
it's
to
been there
get-
for years.
All right, any other comments,
Are we
Steve?
still able to dump down there
It's
for
open.
the time being?
It's open.
It's open.
It'll stay open. Yep.
I mean, I'm currently of the mindset to reduce our possibility of having even a bigger fire in the future. That's just my opinion. But I have no skin in the game either way. The only thing is it's the more we let it grow, if we continue in a drought, then now we gotta spend more money, because this is all based on them coming and seeing it on, I do believe, Baker Timber Products came out on well, he wrote that on July 15th, he came out the weekend before. So July 15th, he saw it, the 11th and 12th. So if there's been stuff placed on it since then, you know, I'm sure he's gonna give a little leeway on it, but if there's a lot more added to it, the price is gonna change. And the same thing to trim it up. They sent us theirs on April.
Yeah,
No, that's April.
Yeah, but I think it had a date on it, just, I don't know why that.
I don't know why it says April 10th, but he came in the weekend after, I think he came in the weekend of the 18th and the 19th.
I think that's what the email says, I have it. State,
Did you mention they had like 3 quotes of getting rid of that by chipping it?
Two.
One
I
was-
sent out for 4,
Okay.
but I only got 2 responses. Well, I got a third, but he never showed up.
One was to chip it and leave it there, one was to chip it and haul it off.
So Baker Timber offered 2 options, chip and leave or chip and take. Chip and leave was 8,000, chip and take is 11,600.
I would suggest you look at the chip it and take it. If they don't take it, you're not solving any problems down there. You're still gonna have a big pile of wood there.
True, but it'll be in a state that people can take for gardens if people want
Well,
gardens. And I don't know how many people want gardens,
If you-
but I also want to look out for the interest of the town. If there's a lot of people who want wood chips for gardening or mulch or landscaping, that's an opportunity for them to have.
That's fine, if you can find the people that wanna take it.
I agree. I mean, if there's a lot that say they want it, then that may be a viable option.
alright, so at this time, I'm all for taking care of that brush pile now, we won't have to deal with it in the winter, so. The chair will entertain a motion to,
Yeah.
Ray has been talking to Baker Timber. They have a really big chipper because they have, and it wouldn't take that long.
right, and that's one of the quotes that we have is from Baker Timber, so.
My question, if you don't mind me asking, who here is going to come and take wood chips if we chip it?
I would, but not like a ton of it.
There's also a possibility that if you chip it, the next time we're available to burn, the chips can be burned.
Yeah, and the chips can be burned. If they're not a big pile, they
Right.
just send out a whole bunch. Yeah. So,
I prefer they not to
Burn
burn.
crap.
It will, it will.
Burn crap.
It will.
Aunt Bobby, you're just gonna be Aunt Bobby, I tried, sorry.
Burn crap.
What about, I mean, if you leave a pile of chips, what about some of those?
we can't hear her. She's
Like a pile of
Go ahead, Aunt Bobby.
If we have a pile of chips, what about spontaneous combustion? Because that's packed. I don't know. I don't know.
Possibility, not as easy as a hay, stack of hay, but yeah, it's a possibility.
Alright,
You would have to put the chips to the side of it because next thing will happen, everybody can pound stuff in front of it.
yeah, no, I'm sure.
You are correct on that one. That's
Yeah.
we have to designate an area for it.
So which of the quotes, do you recommend?
Well, if we're gonna chip and leave, obviously Baker, I think Baker beats it either way because it's cheaper. If you chip and leave, it's 8,000. If you chip and haul, it's 11,600. Nobody else came back with any kind of chip and haul. So I think Baker having it. The question is, which route are we gonna do, chip and leave or chip and take? That's the
Say
question.
chip and leave,
Chip and leave?
just
Or
because.
will it snow this winter?
Will reduce the pile and.
I'm okay with chipping and leaving the $8,000 from Baker Timber so that we can remove that large pile. So you need a motion for that. I make a motion to, I make a motion to approve Baker Timber Products to grind the slash pile in Buffalo Gap and leaving the mulch pile for $8,000.
I'll second the motion to accept Baker Timber Products quote to
And it's for the safety of the town.
grind the slash pile and leave them over. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries.
You want me to reach out to him?
Please.
I'll get on contact with the finance officer.
All right, open meeting laws, compliance for established committees,
And Sandy's not here.
So, I do know she mentioned that they are gonna operate as a committee. She gave us their standing meeting dates.
And I do know,
I had a question.
no, and I do know that Debbie knew that they have to build bylaws.
Okay.
So, because they mentioned that in the meeting.
Now, they've already been recognized as a committee in past meeting minutes, but now we're just recognizing it.
We're making it official.
And official, all right. So we don't need a decision on that. All right. Okay, new business, the 2027 budget appropriations hearing. So this is the time to receive public input on the 2027 budget. So if anyone has anything that any idea they would like to offer to the town board for consideration into the 2027 budget.
Well,
Give us a few amounts.
Full allowance for
New
what?
loaders.
Compensate for hydro, right?
oh, for everybody in town?
Hydraulics. What we just talked about would be,
That's, I was just telling Matt, a lot of this oil is going through these cylinders that are leaking on the blade and the loader. We might look at, getting some of the next ones that are worse and telling them, if we got the money, get them all done at one time.
So you're talking about getting some repairs or work done on the equipment?
Like we did on the others, the big cylinder on the blade.
Okay,
I know the other cylinder on the blade shift is leaking. A couple of them on the backhoe, or the dump, on the tractor are leaking. So, I'm thinking there's gonna be probably at least 5 cylinders that could be worked on.
okay. Do you have a rough cost estimate for that? In a ballpark?
I know that big cylinder, would have to go to rapid, I'm sure. That's a big long one behind the blade.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that, other big one that's for
I don't remember.
hydraulics. I think we've got like 3,000 in the 2 or 3 cylinders that we had worked on already. So I don't
Okay.
have any, I would guess probably you're looking at least another 3 to get that other big one done and 3 or 4 of the smaller ones. Now Jordan is able to do the smaller cylinders, like what's on the backhoe,
Uh-huh.
on the lambs, on the bucket. He did one, he put a new seal in it. I don't remember what it was he charged. The big expense was that big, longer one that went to rapid.
Well, we can look back at Jordan's invoice and see and kind of get an idea. Okay.
But I would guess you're probably looking at somewhere maybe between 3,000 and 4,000.
Yeah.
I wouldn't guarantee that, but.
Okay, and then what about just overall maintenance on any of the equipment? Oil
The big
changes,
thing, the big
tires?
Well, the blade does have one bad tire on the front. It's
Uh-huh.
still holding yet, and it came to the town that way.
Okay,
Somebody pushed the blade out through the face of the tire and curled part of it back. It's still working, no more than we use that blade, I'm guessing it'll be good for a while.
what about for, oh, sorry, go
The
ahead.
front tires on the loader are the bad tires. I don't know why they replaced the back ones when they did, but it's the 2 front ones, that's where all the weight is at on that, pretty much.
We'll need some tires for the loader.
Probably 2 front tires for the
Right.
loader.
Do you
I
know
have
about?
no idea what they would cost. I'm guessing they're probably somewhere around $400 or $500 a piece.
Probably, yeah.
By the time we get them, they might be $800 maybe.
Okay.
I didn't even look at them to see what size they are yet.
What about for the lawnmower? What type of maintenance do we need to do for the lawnmower? just this year or just for next year?
Probably a couple sets would be best. We've been getting by actually with, depending on what kind of year it is.
Next year, we could usually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
the last, well, when Heather was here, I had to get 2 sets. When I pull it in, I'd take one set off, put the other right back on. I wouldn't have to sharpen them right away.
Herman got the last.
What?
Herman got the last.
Yeah, no, but before, when Heather got them, she got 2 sets. And I would change them out, I'd pull the old ones off, put new ones right back on.
Okay.
And rotate them. So if that's possible, we did 2 sets of that. And then again, we're only doing like oil fillers and air filters, stuff like that.
Anything else?
I have 2 things.
Okay.
First of them is,
Hold on,
the city.
hold on, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Can I have the park advisory board go first?
Please,
And that
please.
way, if she's done, then she can depart.
Yep, so,
She chooses.
we would just like we had 2,000 for a budget this year, we'd like the same. We had talked about the flagpole in the park, moving it, and we were thinking it probably makes more sense to buy a new pole. And we found some, for around $600, but of course, trying to get them cheaper, but that's the pole, the light,
Okay.
everything that we need.
One more thing too, if we use that gravel for around there, we're gonna have to replace that.
Oh, I'm not, gravel is kind of
Okay.
in the budget
And
already.
it's not cost that much
No,
anymore.
that's
Yeah,
part of our
it's-
routine, so.
We'll have, next year we can place the little kid stuff too. I mean, there'll be concrete to do that. Can't imagine that would take time. And then just the upkeep, so like the tether ball, I went to the park and the rope was missing, but I found the ball. So we're gonna replace the rope again, but if it keeps happening, we're not gonna have a tether ball anymore,
You mean
so.
somebody cut it or what?
I don't know, it was just gone, just straight up gone.
I would suggest not leaving balls in that bucket you got over there. They're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what that bucket is.
that's
for.
what it's for, yeah.
I mean, we can try it, if it doesn't work, we don't do it again.
Yeah, we thought we'd just at least get one basketball, one volleyball and see how it goes. But, yeah, but we do have a rim now, so we don't have to worry about that in this year's budget, so.
All right, so when we place the kids' equipment, that we have, we'll want to contract someone to do that because of our insurance liability. Because we wanna make sure that it's above board.
True.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. I'll help out if I ever. Steve?
One more thing too, a person probably really needs to look at those trees in the park. We already had one big branch come down, and if there had been kids over there playing, it would have been a bad deal.
So I have, a call in to a couple services companies to come and give us some quotes on the park and the community center, and then some trees on Walnut, so I'm waiting for them to give us the quotes, so someone's already been notified about that, yeah.
I have a question about the committee.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do this, but I'm just gonna ask, so if we don't spend all of our money for this year, can that money, like, we just need 2,000, okay, let's say we don't spend 500 of it, can that money go toward the next year and we get 2,500 if we saved it, or does it all go away?
so we wouldn't be able to really answer that question until we all sit down and kind of look at where we're at financially for the town. Ideally, we should be able to, especially if we didn't spend it, but my thoughts are, given the attorney bills that we had this year, is that we've spent pretty much whatever revenue we're bringing in.
Yeah, and you might need money for
Yeah.
you might need money to pay to get things chipped over there, I get
Yeah,
that, so
but
I was just wondering.
But, so, that's a grand idea, so when the board members sit down, we'll take that into consideration, and then Okay, go ahead, Travis.
All right, I got two things. My first one is, a sound system. Citizens have said that they can't hear, so getting a sound system that we can have 4 mics up here and then 1 for the public so that they can come up to a podium and speak so it can all be recorded, heard. Sounds, I think, is a great idea, regardless whether we're here or in the community center. I think the community center sounds bad anyway, but here it would help people in the back, especially if we want to run the AC, to keep it cool because it got hot when we turned it off. That would be a recommendation of mine. We want to talk about that one first before I do my extra.
Which one?
The sound system.
I got it down.
Oh, you got it up.
We talked about it.
Yep. The other thing is, there were some complaints on Facebook, and I kind of get it, I kind of don't, but maybe a website for the town so that minutes can be put up there real quick. Any notifications can be up there. I know there's a lot of people who don't have internet, but with some of the new people that are moving in, a lot of people are getting the internet. I know it would be some people who wouldn't have it, but then it gives us one more area for whenever we have something happen, we can put out a quick notice and then kind of bypass waiting for the paper to print something or somebody walking down to the community center. They can actually just get it online right away without some of the extra that went on with saying, where's the minutes? Well, you've got this amount of time for South Dakota codified law. So that would be my recommendation, to find out what it would cost to host a simple website.
Can I add to that?
I don't mind you tacking in on this.
So I gave the town a website over about 3 years ago now. I built the town a website. I paid for the website for 3 years, included the domain name. Made it totally compliant because it has to be compliant with state and federal law. And they decided they didn't want it. So I used it to post things, and I've slowly taken it down to where there's nothing left but just a main page now. And so the one challenge, first of all, it doesn't cost a lot of money. So I think for 3 years, I have paid maybe $500 over the 3 years. And then I put my own personal time into it for free. The challenge is you do have to have somebody to maintain it. I just checked my statistics today because I took the last few pages down, and just this year I've had over 3,000 individual hits. People would contact me. Probably the number one was over the committee for the cemetery committee. They wanted to know who they could talk to about that. But I would get all kinds of things, all kinds of questions would come in through the page. So somebody does have to maintain it, and that's just something to consider. Also, like you just said, there's laws. So if the town has a website, there's certain laws that South Dakota has that says, within so many hours of posting everything that's going to be, you post it up here, not the minutes, but the agenda, that has to be posted. The minutes have to be posted. But if you don't have a website, you don't have to do it. You do whatever the rest of the law is, but if you have a website, you have to post that stuff. So,
yep.
But I just took all of that down.
That's
Everything.
fine.
I mean, I just did it, so that's just something to consider.
Yeah, continuing on, you gotta find somebody to do it.
Again, this is just kind of gathering everything so that we can lay out the budget for next year. Anybody else have anything? Because I have a lot of things. You have any more things?
Not to come to mind right now, but we'll see what you got.
Right.
Maybe you'll bring some new stuff.
Okay, so looking across the state, for finance officer pay, our a lot of the administrative duties, and my salary's $100 a month for the clerical work and for water billing. And then, Matt does mostly the financial stuff, and that is what he has time for. This position is considered part-time, but when you look at the amount of things that are required from the town, it's a little more than part-time. So the town needs to look at the salary that the finance officer is looking at, and then they need to look at hiring a clerk. I have complete, confidence that on January 1st, no later than January 1st, I no longer want to do water billing. But we have to make, those duties have to be separate. So, according with the auditor general, your finance officer should not be doing the billing and the depositing.
Speak to the complaint that was made just a few moments ago.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah, so those duties have to remain separate. And that is one of the predicaments that we were in with the audit. So those are separate duties, and also the water is an enterprise fund. It makes money making money is a loose term to cover those types of expenses, right? So that's what those revenues are for. So we need to hire a clerk, and that clerk's salary would be split between the general fund with whatever he or she helps Matt with, and then with the water fund, whatever duties they do. So with the water fund, I'm doing the billing. I also do the administrative work for Todd because computers are not his thing, water is his thing. So, and Matt does too. We both make sure that he gets reports, that his reports are sent to folks, and then we also submit stuff on his behalf. So, yeah.
So what are we looking at as how underpaid is our finance officer?
Yes.
And then what does the clerk position look like? That is finance.
At the low end, when you look at the third-class municipalities, at the low end of Matt's salary, or I'll say the finance officer, because it's not a personal thing, is $24,000 at the low end per year.
Is
And
that
then-
full-time, is that?
So that just, you're just looking at the duties, so they don't
Oh,
really,
duties,
it's
okay.
just a salary for the duty, to complete the duties of the job. It's kind of how they look at it, because we're not a county or a city, so we don't have those. With regards to the clerk, at a minimum, I would say that salary needs to start between $750 and $900. And again, that would be split between the general fund and the water fund
Per month.
per month. Yes.
Okay, like $900.
I would, at the upper end, I would say $900 a month, and that would be split, and so then that could offload some of those clerical duties that Matt has to take on. So, as example, the meeting minute notes.
Right.
I do those, I have a vision, and I'm not complaining, I'm just laying out how the duties are. We haven't been able to come to this point to understand what the full duties of the positions are until the last year or so. So.
Okay.
And then,
I think that's good to have a two-person system in the office anyway. Anytime you're dealing with money, anytime you're dealing with payments, a two-person check system with oversight from the board is the most appropriate. My board does it with me and my nonprofit.
That really turns into a 5-person.
It does turn into a
Yeah,
5-person.
which is good.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's how Matt and I operate. So when I assist him in anything, then I hand him what I've done and he does the double checks on it. You know, he thoroughly checks everything and vice versa. So when Matt balances the books, I send it to him. So,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, you need the checks and balance, and that's why you need two people. So,
Like it.
there's that, and then. I know. I have not done the analysis of the water rates yet, but they'll have to do that before, at least before the second meeting, but by the first meeting, I should have at least a draft to know if our water rates are covering our expenses.
Yeah.
So that will have to be done, so I'm not ready to discuss that.
Okay. Good or bad? Or
I don't
have
know,
to?
she hasn't disclosed anything, so.
Okay.
What else, did I miss anything that, we don't need any equipment for the office? Oh, the Verizon bill. Okay, I'm gonna make a recommendation that when that contract's up, that we cancel that one. We just have a plan, it really only gets turned on once a week or something.
If we get a landline to the office, which we're paying for anyways, we just get a phone hooked up to that line.
Yep.
With a messaging system that people can leave messages on, I think would be best. It would save us around $100 a month.
So we would cancel the Verizon cell phone.
Yeah. Is that all we're paying for, is that cell phone bill, just a
We
cell
have
phone?
the cell phone bill, and then we have Golden West, which has, supposed to have a landline in this community center and the Wi-Fi.
On the Verizon bill, all we have is the one phone. And then Gold West is the phone line that we're required to have for the internet, so. For the
Okay.
That was the other thing, was to cancel Verizon.
Anything else we can save money on? Recommendation?
We could probably find something.
And then the last thing is, you keep talking, I'll remember all this, is, we will have to have the, insurance reviewed once the claims have been settled. So right now, we're paying an exorbitant amount for our liability insurance, and I'm not sure that it's reasonable. So we will need to review that with the insurance company, yeah.
Now, when you say closed claim settlement, that's insurance settling our loss,
For the loss that we
which
have.
could potentially happen in the near future, or is that gonna be after entering court stuff, or?
You heard anything?
I heard nothing. They at first made it sound like it was gonna happen pretty decently quick here. Now we're just break quick. So,
How long we've had the same insurance?
Oh, so the insurance that we have is through the South Dakota Municipal League, and we want to keep it that way because they understand municipalities, but we've had that insurance, I don't know.
they're the ones who insure, like, I think it's like 90-something percent
I don't know,
of the municipalities.
we switch insurances up because sometimes you're with somebody for so long, you think you just get the best rate, but you know you shop around.
And you're not,
You
right?
find out they actually why you've been paying it for so long.
But Christine is talking about the insurance that the board had when Heather was here, which was different, right? That was-
No, same.
Oh, it's the same? Oh, okay.
We belong to the pool.
Okay, we
the
belong to the pool.
SDPAA pool.
Well, there's something that was weird with it, right? They didn't have a problem.
It wasn't bonded.
That's what.
And that's what we'll have to include in this next one, is we'll have to make sure, and we have to sit down with the insurance company to make sure that those liabilities are covered. So we'll have to review the insurance.
Allowed to have a paid out.
No.
You won't catch me dead.
PayPal's a scam anyway. They take too much money off the top.
It's true.
Okay, so I'll just stop there, because those are hot topics, so. I don't have anything
You
else.
don't have any other
from
to add?
the hearing? Unless Matt has something.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Anything else for the budget?
I know we've talked about it. Were we talking about getting a new cooling system for in here? Or was that more of, let's wait and see what ends up happening at the community center? What's the?
We did, so last year in the budget, we took out of cash, a sum of money, and I wanna say it was $12,000 or $15,000. I have to look at the ordinance to see, it's right there, not gonna read it though. And we said we would look at one of these two buildings this year and upgrade the heating there.
Okay.
We got 4 months left, and I'm feeling a time crunch, so I asked the community center if they would bring 3 quotes to the board, so that we can look at that and do the community center first.
Okay.
So that's a good thought, so maybe we should, in the community center this year, we should take maybe cash out of the reserves to do this building next year.
Okay.
And the mini splits are so much more efficient, it's wired too.
What?
And they'll be one.
Those mini splits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and now, years ago, you had to be a million to put in place now, but anybody, that's about, you can order them off the internet, $1,500 you can install one.
Yeah, we just put 2 in our church there, and that, cool down that huge room.
My father put in his place over there, he was going to an air conditioner for a couple of years, it was like $600-700. Then he put in that apartment, put it in, and he's, and it just keeps up, and you don't hear nothing, there's so much noise.
Yeah, they're quiet.
Very, very quiet.
And you save so much money in the long run.
So since you kept talking,
Sure.
the second tank would be the above ground tank has to be inspected next year.
Yep.
And that will be a hefty bill, $5,000-6,000.
So does that come out of the enterprise fund?
It comes out of water, but it still has to go into our budget.
Right.
I believe it's closer to 7 if I recall right.
Okay.
The dive and inspect?
The divers, yeah.
But is it dive and inspect or is it dive, inspect, and clean?
So-
The one that we just did was dive, inspect, and clean,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah.
And that was, and the above ground is different because it has cathodic bars in there, and those bars may need to be replaced, so that'll be an added cost into that
So,
dive.
if you have them dive it, depending on the last time it's cleaned, you might as well just add the dive, inspect, cathodic bars, and clean. I mean, you might as well just get it done.
If you're in there, get it all done.
Because if they cost $7,000 just to jump in, or $6,000 or whatever the number is. Well,
And we use Midco, so they know our tanks well, and they've got the history. So he'll tell me what's gonna
What he
happen.
needs.
Cause I'll just send him an email and tell him, we're doing our budget, I'll need an estimate for the above ground tank. He'll know exactly what needs to be done.
figure,
But yeah, I think Matt's right, it is closer to 7,000, and the cathodic bars is gonna have, those bars pull the minerals out to keep the water from not being quite as hard, although it's still hard.
Yeah,
But it keeps it from depositing on the tank, yeah.
Another thing you guys had mentioned once before about city lights, you were talking about switching them over to a more efficient bulb.
They're already been switched out.
Are they?
Black Hills did that, yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't switch now.
Did it save a lot of money in the car?
Well, they don't,
That was before I was here then.
It was
Because I haven't
before.
seen a change.
it costs us per month, we have to pay a maintenance fee per pole, so it's about $30 per pole, and then we pay utility usage for the light. So that's the contract that the town signed with Black Hills. We use
Bishop
the,
rate?
So each light bulb costs the city $30 a month now.
each light pole costs $30 a month.
How many light poles are there?
Just to
29.
exist. Just to exist.
29.
29? Just two are known? Or all of our known?
You have a Black Hills
Oh,
invoice
no,
for
he
that?
meant
Yeah, I was gonna say,
just
I've
to
actually
exist, not
counted it.
two or all.
Yeah, I
Like,
can
to exist, it costs us $30.
That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, that's regardless of the energy they use.
That's right, I can tell you
The
exactly.
actual energy that they use, we're talking like $2
And I
or
might
$3
be-
a month. Some are like $6.
Yeah, I picked up on you saying two, I was like, no, that's not what he meant.
You gotta have, it, you can't have a car now.
All right, so each light pole, I was wrong, is $10.74. We have 29. It costs us $311.46 a month just to have the light poles. And then last month we used $67 electricity for all the street lights. Yep,
Roughly $400.
for street lights.
It's cheap.
Well, yeah, compared to Rapid, yeah.
Yeah. They're not charging you the delivery fee because it's part of their infrastructure already.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at your electric bill, my electric runs about $30, but they charge me $100 to deliver it.
You did,
Honestly,
really?
yeah, look at your electric bill. The actual cost of electricity is down here, and then there's a cost to provide it through they're charging you for their crappy infrastructure. It's good to do it.
Guess I'm gonna read that one a little bit.
All right, anything else on the budget, Jeremy? All right, so, after these ideas, good. Okay, so resolution 2026-06. This resolution appoints Steve Jensen as the wastewater management, to the wastewater management board of commissioners. We've
Yep.
already appointed him as the board, but they need this resolution, so,
I moved to approve the resolution.
all right, I'll
Because I know
second
we already
that.
said that we wanted him there, and he said he was okay serving.
I'll
So,
second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, no executive session, and so Chair entertains a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
And I'll second approve. Aye.
Aye.
Or, yeah. Okay, next monthly meeting, September 14th, because the first Monday is Labor